Hello, CodefForge here. Welcome in the next part of the Angular material guide. Today we will be extending our table with sorting, filtering, and also we will add spinner. I haven't changed anything in the code since the last video, so let's get started. First of all, we will create a new service, and after that we will move getting our data from the component to this service. Let's navigate to our module. So we want to cd into source app game library because this is the name of our module. And over here we want to create a new directory using mkdir command, and we will call it services. And it appeared over here. Now let's navigate to this directory. So we want to cd into services, and over here we want to generate a new service. So we type ng generate service, and it will be game service. And I'm typing game before the actual name to create another directory, and now the game service. So this is the name of the service, the second one. Okay, and now after a moment CLI should generate our service, and it's here, and as you can see it is also in the folder. Right now let's copy our collection of games here, and let's navigate to our new service. Over here we want to create a new property, and this property will be used to store our games like we did it in the component. And we have to import this type, and over here in the constructor we'll initialize this property with the data we have copied from the component. Data is ready, but we also need to somehow serve this data because this is the game service, right? So under the constructor we'll create getGames method, which will return observable, which comes from the RxJS. You can see it over here, and it is generic type, so we want to return this observable as game array. Okay. In real life, we would like to implement in this method HTTP GET REST call, but in our case, we would like to return our games property, which holds our array of games. Because we don't have real service which will serve the data, and we want to simulate it. To do it, we have to type return, and we will use off operator from the RxJS, and it will allow us to return our games collection. And right now we will also use pipe operator, which allow us to add some side effects, and in our case it will be adding the delay to simulate the response from the real service. And let's say it will be 3000 milliseconds. And this column should go over here, and also we need to add a new import, and it will be import delay from, and it will be rxjs/operators. And now it should be good. Yes, it is. Now we can save it, and we can go back to our shelf component. We have to do some cleaning here. So first of all, we have to delete this collection over here because it will be served from our service. And now we will inject our new service, and it will be called game service, and it will be the type of game service. Okay. Let's also remove this property here, And let's move this initialization to here, and let's use default constructor for now, and let's remove this line from the constructor. We are ready to use our service, so we go under this line, and over here we want to call this game service, which we have injected in the constructor. Now we want to call our getGames method, and we want to subscribe to it. Okay, and in the subscription we will get games, which will be type of game array, and now we will use arrow function, and over here we want to assign to our game data source and the property data, we want to assign our games collection. Okay, and also we need the semicolon over here. If we save our application, it should work exactly the same way as before, but we will get the data after 3 seconds. And as you can see, it appeared after 3 seconds. Let's see it again. And we have our view, and after 3 seconds we get the data. This appearing data is not very user-friendly, so let's add spinner. We have to go to our game library module, and over here we will add new import. You can grab it from the documentation, and it is called mat progress spinner module. And also we have to add it to our imports array in our module. So let's save it, and we can go back to our component. Over here we want to add new property. It will be called isSpinner displayed, and the default value of this will be false. Using this property we will control visibility of the spinner, and we want to turn it on in the ng-onInit lifecycle method by calling this isSpinner displayed and setting it to true. And now we can save it and move to the view of our component. Over here we want to add our spinner. We'll put it in the div, and we will add the class to this div, and it will be spinner wrapper. Okay, and we will also add ngIf, and we will add our isSpinner displayed property over here. And inside our div we will use matSpinner component like this. Okay, and let's save it. Yeah, and it is not looking very good. To make it look better, we have to use some CSS magic. So let's go to the CSS of this component, and over here we will change padding to the margin in the first place, because otherwise we will get some nasty visual issues. And also we will add position relative, because it will be parent for our spinner. I mean, the table wrapper will be the parent for our spinner. And right now we will add a new class, and it will be spinner wrapper. And this is the class which we have added to this div element over here. I missed semicolon over here. Let's add some rules to our spinner wrapper class to make it look better. So first of all, we will set position to absolute. Oh, not this one, absolute, yes, this one. And now we want to move it to top to 0 and left to 0. So it will be top left corner. We want to set width to 100% because we want to also add a background for our spinner. And the same for height, and it will be also 100%. And now we want to set background color, and it will be black, but we want to make it a little bit transparent. So we first of all want to set it to black, and we will add some alpha, and let's say it will be 0.10. Okay, and we will also use flex to center our spinner in the container, and we want to align items to center, and also we want to justify content to center, so it will be centered horizontally and vertically. So those rules are for our container, the wrapper, and those rules are for our actual spinner over here, because this is the item for our flex container, right? So now if we save it, it should be good. Yes, and as we can see, it's spinning in the middle and we have some gray background. It looks good, but our spinner is not disappearing after loading the data. So we have to navigate to our shelf component, and over here, after loading all the data, we want to set our spinner to false in the callback function of subscribe over here. And also let's move it a little bit here. And now if we save it, we have the spinner, and after loading the data, it disappears. Let's refactor this code a little bit. So we want to select this thing over here, and we want to hit Ctrl+Shift+R, and we want to extract it to the method, and let's say it will be called load games. Okay, it's much cleaner right now. Next one on our list is sorting, and as you can see, I have added before the viewChild decorator, which finds the matchSort element by this selector. So we can use this sort property to access our sort element in our component. This is the first step, I mean adding this viewChild. Second one is adding a new import in our module, which is called a matchSort module, and also we have to add it to the array like all of the modules. And let's save it. And the last thing we want to do is adding directives over here in our view, and it will go like this. Over here on the table element, we have to add matchSort directive, and also we have to add it on each column which we want to sort. So we want to sort by title, so we add matchSort header over here, and let's copy it, and also let's add it over here. We can save the view, and as we can see, we will get arrows over here and here, but it will still not work. And that is because we have to do one more thing in our class, and it is assigning this sort element to our games data source. To do it, we have to call this games data source, and we have to access sort property and assign this sort. We are doing exactly the same what we did with the paginator in the last video. Let's save it, and now we are waiting for data. Let's change the items count per page to 10, and now if we click the genre header, our data is being sorted in the ascending direction, and again it is the descending direction, and it is the same for title. Okay. We can also add some configuration to our sort element, and we can do it this way. We are referring to this sort element, and we can set active sorting for the title column. We can also set the default direction for this column, and it will be ascending, and we want to disable something that is called disable clear. and we want to set it to true. If we save it, we can see that by default our table is sorted by the title column, and we have only two states. We don't have this third state when the data is unsorted. We can also refactor it, so we'll select this code over here, Ctrl-Shift-R. We are extracting it to the different method, and let's say it will be configure sorting. And now it's okay. Let's save it. Okay. Last thing we want to add is filtering, so let's go to our game library module, and over here we will add another module, and it is math input module. And also we are adding it to the array, and we are saving it. Now we can move to our view. Here above our table we want to add our filter. First of all, we will add the div with the class filter wrapper, and inside we want to add math form field with the class full width, and inside we want to add the input element, and we have to mark it with the math input directive. And also we will add the event for the key up, and when the key up event is fired, we want to call our filter method, and we want to pass the event target value to have the information about the input, actual input from the filter. And also let's add the placeholder, and let's say it will be filter. Okay, let's save it and check how it looks. And there is our filter, but it still can look better, so let's go to the SCSS file. Here we will add one rule. Let's put it over here, and it will be filter wrapper, and let's set margin to 0 for top and bottom, and 12 pixels for the left and right. And inside we want to set full width, and we want to set this width to 100%. Now if we save it, yeah, now it's cool. Okay, so our filter is there. It looks good, but it's still not working. It's not filtering any data. So let's go back to our class component over here. Over here we want to implement our filter method, which we have assigned to our key up event, and it will get the filter value, which will be the string. And to actually filter our table, we have to access our games data source, and it has filter property. And to this filter property, we want to assign our filter value. Not this one. We want the filter value, and we want to trim to get rid of spaces and other white characters. And we want to make it lowercase like this. Let's save it and let's check if it works. So we're waiting for the data. Data is here. Let's increase items count, and let's say we want to find Age of Mythology. It's here. Let's say we want Mass Effect. It's here. And let's say we want only RPGs, and we have only RPGs. So our filter is working great. Okay, I think it is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you do, remember about liking the video, and if you want more, subscribe to the channel. See you next time.